I don't even think they were going to tune the car. I think they just assumed that you can put turbos on a Lamborghini and the car will go faster. So my best friend bought a Huracan in the Huracan heyday. This was a 2015 LP16-4, and this is in 2018, so the Huracan was the hot car at the time. He buys this car with a handful of miles on it, 3,000 miles, and we have a huge party for the reveal when he gets the car. The shipper shows up, we've got like 40 people there, everyone's mind blown, and we live in Wichita. It's a small town, it's the only Huracan, and it was pretty outrageous to see. Everybody had a great time, but I am the biggest underground racing fan, and I wore my underground racing shirt to his reveal party, and the first thing I said is, "Turbos win." And he was like, "I'm not gonna do that, man. It's ridiculous. I just want to drive around a nice stock Lamborghini and enjoy my life." And 3 weeks later, he shipped the car off to get twin turbos. But he did not ship the car to underground racing, which is the safe bet. There's plenty of great twin turbo building companies in the country. He sent it to a company that reached out to him on Instagram and said, "We can build you a twin turbo setup cheaper and we'll do it faster and you don't even have to ship us the car." Dime Racing said, "All you have to do is wire us $40,000 and in a couple of weeks, we're gonna ship you headers and turbos and they'll just bolt onto the car and you will be ready to go." I don't even think they were going to tune the car. I think they just assumed that you can put turbos on a Lamborghini and the car will go faster. But a couple weeks into the process, they said, this process would go faster if you shipped us the car. So of course, he put it on some transport and it headed down to Huntington Beach. At the time, Dime Racing had just wrapped a Super Trofeo car. It was out racing some series, so they had a little bit of advertising out there, and somehow they had a running twin turbo car they were making a lot of content with. And the content looked good, the car made turbo sounds, everybody looked happy in the videos, so it seemed like a pretty safe bet. The car gets to Dime Racing and they said it will be done in 7 days. And about 30 days later, questions just really started popping up all over the place. Obviously, they were way past their deadline, but Brian wanted some answers. So he said, "Send me some pictures of the progress on the car. I just want some kind of update on where my money went and where my car went." And they sent him a picture of a header with 4 collectors on it coming out of the cylinder head. And he said that is not a Lamborghini exhaust manifold and got on a plane the next day. And he decided that until this car was done, he was going to sit there in Huntington Beach and babysit them in the car, daily check-ins. I think they were hourly check-ins at this point, with text messages asking when the car's going to be done, when the turbos are going to be finally mounted, like when we can go see it run again, when it'll be tuned. And after about a week of staying in Huntington Beach, he gave up and flew home because there's only so much babysitting you can do. You got a life to live back at your house. He goes home, and about a month later, we're coming up on the deadline for a rally that Brian and I had signed up for about 3 months before, with full expectations that we were going to take the fastest car on the rally, and the most important part, that it was going to run and be finished. We fly out to La Jolla, pick up the car, and get ready for the rally. The rally started in La Jolla, and we go pick up the car. The moment we get in this car, Brian takes off on, I think on the 5, and he's like, "Yeah, this is good, right?" And I'm gritting my teeth. I was like, something's wrong with the car. Something is majorly wrong. And also, up to the day before the rally, we still didn't have air conditioning. The car's AC didn't work, and the transmission was in limp mode, and it didn't drive. But Dime guaranteed us the car would be ready. It just simply needed its codes cleared, and for some reason, they couldn't clear the codes. And for an even larger reason, the Lamborghini dealership could not clear the codes or charge the air conditioning. But Josh at Bowden Auto House, being the superhero he is, Brian texted him, he stepped in, went and picked up the car, got everything sorted out within 1 day, and we picked it up from him. And it ran and drove, but there was something strange about how this car drove. It just didn't feel right. But hey, the car started up, we had a starting line to get to, and it made boost noises. And it put a really big smile on Brian's face. But as someone who'd driven cars like that, something was just off. Either way, the car does run and drive, and we got busy on the rally. And we drove through California. We made it out through the first day and a half, and we got into Death Valley, and things started going really wrong. Now, we also had a Turo rented Corvette Z06 and a bunch of other Lamborghinis on the rally. So I'm driving the Z06, which is going into limp mode. That was early on in C7 Z06 days. Everybody probably remembers that they would go into limp mode if you pushed them hard enough for long enough. They got very upset. They just didn't have enough cooling. So when you're in Death Valley going at a pretty reasonable pace, they get mad. And about the exact same time the Corvette decided to go into limp mode, the Huracan lost its transmission. Now, obviously, Dime had tuned the factory ECU and also changed the TCU tune. They wanted the shifts to be more aggressive for their turbo kit. I don't know how they found anybody to do any of this stuff. In general, people don't tune the stock Lamborghini ECUs. They pretty much always do the twin turbo kits on a standalone and tie it in with the factory ECU. But that was not Dime's approach. And in less than 48 hours after picking up the car, there it was on the side of the road at a rest stop with a dead transmission. We thought that was the end of the rally for us. We stopped at the rest stop in Death Valley, and we sat there with Vehicle Virgins and a bunch of other friends for, well, actually we told them to go on, and Brian and I sat there with the car for the next 4 hours waiting on a tow truck to come from Vegas. Tow truck shows up. He wasn't exactly Lamborghini's tow truck driver. Pretty sure he was sent from AAA, but he did have a bunch of 2x4s and a flatbed wrecker. So after a lot of work, he managed to get this car on the trailer. It was made even worse by the fact that this car was full Vorsteiner Novara, which is a bumper that protrudes almost 5 inches farther than a stock bumper does. So you lose so much of the approach angle that it's nearly impossible to load the car after that. But the guy managed to get it done. But instead of taking a Lamborghini to Vegas on the rally, we took a tow truck. So it ended up being a very long night. We dropped the car off at Lamborghini of Vegas, where it sat for the next 30 days. In that time period, Brian worked out a deal with Underground Racing to take the Dime kit back off and build a whole new turbo kit for the car. Now, this is a pretty crazy story because if you know what Underground charges for their twin turbo kits, stage 3 on a car, it's around $100,000, and you just wired $40,000 to Dime Racing to have them do their kit. Now, at the same time, we all make videos about this car exploding. And we also find that Dime's owners have long criminal pasts. They had stolen all of their technology from tuning Mercedes from, I think, WiseTech. And WiseTech was suing them for everything they had. And their landlord showed up at the shop, chained up the shop, and took everything that was inside. I think including a repo on the Super Trofeo car that was in there. Like, everything vanished. All within a matter of a week of this car being finished. Everything fell apart. And luckily, Brian had been so upset that he said, I want a refund, and they had wired $10,000 back of the 40. So he was down to 30 on the turbo kit that had now cost him a $30,000 transmission. Pretty net negative experience overall. But the car heads off to Underground Racing, and they threw away everything Dime built. The best part of it all is they had built custom headers, saying that you need custom headers to make over 1,000 horsepower, and Underground said, we make 2,000 horsepower on factory Lamborghini headers all day long. So they put the factory exhaust back on it, built their turbo kit, fixed the transmission, full billet engine build from Proline, all the usual stuff that you get from Underground Racing, and the car came back. And after that, it turns out it was pretty much the greatest car ever made. We crossed the country, I think 3 more times with that car. New York to California's, everywhere in between. We put 38,000 miles on the turbo kit before it had its next problem. And that is turned up running like race gas, daily, 1,500 horsepower. It's unbelievable the amount of abuse the Underground can make those cars withstand. I want to say it was all sunshine and roses, but with the car running turned all the way up on MS-109 race fuel almost every day. I mean, we kept barrels in the trailers, barrels at Brian's house. We had electronic fuel pumps in all of them, and we just only refueled the car, unless it was on a rally, from the race gas barrels. And it just ran and ran and ran. But at almost 40,000 miles, there was a hairline fracture through the crank, and the engine had to be pulled again for a refresh. But honestly, that's I'd say that's the cost of doing business when you're out having fun like that every single day. With that said, the car has been wonderful ever since the Underground build, but the Dime Racing scam and being in the middle of all of it was a pretty crazy time.
If you get a ticket, the first thing you should do is text a picture of it to 305-305. That will get the ticket clinic on your case immediately. You'll be facing costly fines, risks of suspension, possible jail time, points on your license, higher insurance premiums, and a lot of bad things that they can help you to avoid. You can also find them at the link in the description below, but the Ticket Clinic is a nationwide law firm with brick and mortar offices in Georgia, Florida, and California, but they've got attorneys everywhere, and that's what's most important, because a local attorney will know exactly how the local laws work, know the people who are in charge, and get you the best outcome possible. So text a picture of your ticket to 305-305 or click the link in the description below to fight your ticket with the Ticket Clinic.